Good mining, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Minecraft episode.
I want to die. I want to die at that. What was that? What's that about?
Good mining. Let's
Good mo
mine. First we
Jeez.
mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft.
Let's kill me. I'm Dan. That's Mr. L. And this is episode 10. We're in double digits of our podcast.
Wow.
How are we still doing this? I don't know.
Double.
Yeah, double digits.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute Cinema. And we are covering Absolute Cinema in this episode, the Minecraft movie, or I think it's a Minecraft movie.
A Minecraft movie. Peak.
It's not the definitive one because it would have been called it may be a Minecraft movie, but it's not the Minecraft movie. It's why is it called that? That's the first rant of the day.
So, it's probably so you could say it's not canon.
Yeah, actually, fair enough. But before we get into that, because as you know from our little tease we put out on both our channels, we went to see it together in person, in real
Yeah.
life, in a cinema, in a packed cinema with other people, and they're all cheering along to all the meme lines and whatnot. We will discuss all of that because that's kind of all you can really talk about with this film, just the memes and stuff. But
Memes.
before
Yeah.
that, obviously part one, some bits of news. We haven't got loads because we're recording this episode quite like not long after our last episode, so there's
Yeah.
not been loads, but there's been a couple of things that I want to talk about. So I'll let you start first.
Cool. So I said I would bring it. I mentioned it a couple episodes ago. I said I would bring it up again when it ended, and so I'm now bringing it up. The new series of Daredevil. It
Ah,
has
yes.
now ended, and I can report, without spoiling too much, it is very good. It is
Oh,
as good as the Netflix series, and I would say, and I think it's the best TV show Disney have given us in quite some time. So if you're a fan of the old Netflix Daredevil, give it a go because it's not been brought down by the fact that it's the new Disney and that's on Disney Plus.
um,
It's still as gory as ever. It's still as kind of gritty as ever. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy the angle they've gone with Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. Really enjoy kind of what they've done this season. Nice to see a lot of the old characters back again. They kept up with kind of the continuity of it. It's just completely follow on. So overall, really great. Would recommend. Even if you've kind of given up on Marvel stuff, if you've seen the Netflix Daredevil, go check it out because this is pretty much its own thing. It's not linked that
mhm.
much with the MCU, save for one episode that had like one character who's vaguely in the MCU. But other than that, it's still pretty isolated. So yeah,
That's good.
pretty
Yeah.
good stuff.
That's nice. That's good then. Um, it was about like TV shows actually. I didn't plan on mentioning this, but the new season of Docky Who's back, which I watch obviously.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably talk about it more because there's only been one episode currently as we're recording this, so I'll talk about it maybe in a couple episodes when the series are finished. But it's a season two of the sort of soft reboot. I don't know. It's not. I gotta be honest. Doctor's just not been doing it as of late for me as of late. But I have been going back to some of the older episodes. Um, some of the classics, and I enjoy them. Look, I enjoy them, but it's not awful. It's just I don't know. It's just maybe it's me growing out of it. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, but well, maybe some of the future episodes will impress me more, and we can talk about them. You know, in a in one of the later episodes. Some other
Yeah.
things, some other things as well. Did you have anything else?
Um, Only a few little small things, so I'll bounce back real quick. A documentary I might actually check out, that's
Oh,
premiering at a film festival soon. Um, about a band that I really like at the moment, Metallica. They are doing a new
you've
documentary.
got the shirt. You've
I
got the
got the
shirt.
Justice shirt, yeah.
Hey,
But yeah, they're doing a new documentary called Metallica Saved My Life. This is about the third Metallica movie that's been out now. So I might check it out. It's mostly about the fans and what Metallica's done for all the fans of the band. But
I wanted to make a joke than the MCU, the Metallica Cinematic Universe. But that's
oh
actually quite cool. That's a cool document. That's a cool side to look at in a documentary, like the fan um
yeah,
impact. Because usually, like documentaries on these subjects and like pop culture, they're usually about the artists or the creators, or whether it's like
yeah,
music or filmmakers. It's usually about them. and it's not as much about what the fans impact. So
Hmm.
that's an interesting angle to take.
Yeah, it's very different to their last documentary, which was about them going into group therapy while recording their worst album. So, but
Right.
yeah, so it's quite a different one. I will possibly check it out if there's an easy way to get to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting because Metallica are like the biggest metal band in the world, so and they have a lot of fans. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. I don't normally go with documentaries, but
Yeah.
I might check this one out as a
Yeah.
fan.
Absolutely. I mean, and if when you finally get around to watching it, like report back on here because that'll
Yeah,
be interesting to hear. Yeah. I got a few more little things. A new Wes Anderson film. He's doing a new film, Phoenician Scheme. It's called. Is it? Yes, it's called that. But the fake fan here. But the trailer dropped a couple of weeks ago. It looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not the biggest Wes Anderson fan, but I did like his last film, Asteroid City, a lot. It's one of, I think, for me, is my favorites of his. And this seems to be in that sort of tone. It's a bit darker, maybe a bit more like existential. So I don't know. I quite like that vibe. Michael Cera was in it, and he's a new actor for Wes Anderson to work with. Yeah, it looked pretty good to be fair. So that's coming out in May, I think it is. So
okay.
that dropped. That dropped. I think it will be premiering at a film festival, I believe. Sounds about right. Um, and the other thing I wanted to actually a couple more films that are coming out soon. Sinners. Have you heard about that one?
I've heard very good
Yeah.
things so far from the critics
The
and
the
the
new
audiences.
the new Ryan Coogler film obviously did Black Panther and Creed as well. But again, another original film. I'm obviously going to champion original films, but it's like a sort of drama horror film. It looks really interesting. I think I'm very interested in seeing this, and it kind of again, it's kind of a follow-up question from when we did the Mickey 17 episode. Our directors, the new movie stars, the new Ryan Coogler film. His name I think is having there's something there. I think.
Yeah.
So I think people are interested in seeing what he will do next, and it's an original film. I'm interested to see what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
I'll
there's
have
that.
to report back on that when you see it.
I will definitely do that. And the final bit of news for part one this episode, it's something you sort of predicted when we did the Oscars episode. But we posed the question of what categories would we like to see introduced in the Oscars, and you said you want to see a stunts category, didn't you?
Yes, after watching The Fall Guy, I was like, well, why isn't there Oscars for stunts, right?
Well, your wish is granted. As for the hundredth anniversary or the hundredth Oscar ceremony, which will be 2028, I believe, the the Academy Award for Best Stunt Design will be introduced, and it will obviously recognise stunts in films, and I think absolutely should be recognised, and about time.
What are the odds Tom Cruise wins for doing his own stunts?
He's gonna bring, even though the final Mission Impossible film comes out this year, he's gonna make another one just so he can get an
Yeah.
Oscar. Yeah, that's a film I'm actually planning on checking out, the new Mission Impossible as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, but the stunts category, I think, yeah, about time. And even like my parents, who are kind of, they don't love like Hollywood and like the A-listers and whatnot. They're like, yeah, stunt people should get recognized and whatnot. So I think about
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah, they do put like their lives on the line
Yeah.
for entertainment, really. So it absolutely should be recognized. But I am interested in seeing how it will go about, like stunt design. What does that entail? In
Yeah.
who will be the recipient? Is it like a team of people? Because obviously so many people go into crafting a
Mm.
stunt for a film. It's going to be interesting, I think. But I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
guess
looking
we'll
forward.
find out
Yeah,
more as we get closer to the time.
yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. But that's all I've got for part one at the minute.
I have
You got
one
anything
more
else?
thing.
Go for it.
I want to talk about something that's there's been a problem in cinemas lately that's involved police and it has involved popcorn and it has involved a baby zombie riding a chicken.
And
Chicken
it's involved
jockey.
you. Probably.
It is crazy the way that obviously we I don't think we predicted it being quite this bad, but the
Oh
way
God.
that
Yeah.
the chicken jockey thing is gone in
Yeah.
cinema at the
For
moment
Minecraft. Yeah.
is wild. You've had some cases you've had people throwing popcorn and sodas, toilet
Mhm.
paper. One guy brings his live chicken into the cinema and holds it up like Simba when the scene happens.
It's just
Um,
like how.
it's crazy.
I do think obviously we'll talk about Minecraft in a bit, but I think there is an interesting with Minecraft. I think there's an interesting kind of conversation you can have about like obviously post-COVID kind of cinema etiquette. We've kind of lost it. to a degree.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Minecraft is a big example, but I'm thinking even like, a few months ago, if you remember Wicked when that came out,
yeah,
there were like people like singing along. There was like, maybe like sing along screenings, and there was like I saw everyone taking a photo of the Wicked Part One title card in the film and like posting on social media. It's like I thought a few years ago, you just don't have your phones on in cinemas. Like, what's going on?
yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing that it's happened more than once recently, and I don't know, it's interesting. Although I think there's like two sides to it. Obviously, be respectful to your cinema goers, but also I think there are certain films, certain big events that you can make into events. You can kind of get the audience involved a bit more. Cheer up the moments. Maybe if it's a musical, kind of maybe sing along, like specific screenings and whatnot, which I think Wicked did eventually. But I think it's an interesting thing. What do you make of all this?
Well, this is where it's interesting. See, Cineworld did do exactly that, and they put out a statement saying that you could go to these specific screenings in 4DX to be able to just get involved in all the craze of the Minecraft movie without anyone getting annoyed. Because it's like, well, this is your designated screen to do so. And it
Yeah,
works well because the fans have a place where they can do this. Cineworld get
yeah,
more money because they have to pay more to get 4DX screening. And then the casual fans are in the regular cinema where nobody insane is because we had a
yeah,
we won't go too much into it, but we had a pretty sane
yeah,
screening. Like it wasn't
yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, obviously, like people were like cheering and clapping at the
Yeah.
moments, and we'll obviously talk about that more. But we didn't have people like throwing popcorn everywhere. Although
No.
there was that kid who kept sitting on the because we were sat in like the aisle seats, and there was a
Yeah.
kid just sat on the stairs. So why are you sitting there?
Yeah, I
What are
don't
you
know.
doing?
But
Yeah, but
it's
we were
been
quite lucky in that.
it's
Yeah.
been crazy because I saw one in Utah where someone brought in fireworks, and that's like I think we've crossed
Wait,
the line.
what?
I think we've
What's he
crossed the
doing that
line with
for?
fireworks, but
Why is he bringing fireworks into a
I don't know,
cinema?
man. But
What's he doing that for?
I think with this whole craze, and there's a fine balance. A lot of people
Yeah,
have likened it to some of the screenings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show back in the day, where
yeah,
they would have these crazy screenings and whatever, and audience members would get involved. I think there is something for the case of it being almost like theater, where the audience can be reactive and they can applaud
hmm
the one thing. It's almost like
and I think.
like theater,
Mhm.
but
I think with that as well, it is something that kind of can encourage people to go to the cinema to go watch it, not just like wait till it comes out on streaming or whatever. I think
yeah,
there's maybe because I wouldn't watch Minecraft like just on my own like
no,
7 p.m. just on
not
a
at
random
all.
Thursday. I'm not going to do that when I like. But if you're in that environment where it's fun, you can make a bit of an evening out of it. There's a bit more of an incentive to go out and watch it. And I think
Yeah.
it's about finding that balance, I think, of just being respectful to like cinema goers and like cinema workers as well. There's something
Yes.
about, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a case of like, if we were just watching the movie at home or something, it wouldn't have been as good. Part of why it was so fun for us was the cinema experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
the aura of it, rather than just like watching this really bad movie at home on streaming.
Yeah, it's kind of I would say it's probably the biggest like cinema event, like cinematic event. I would probably say since Barbenheimer, which was nearly 2 years ago now.
Yeah, what was
July
more
23.
recent, Barbenheimer or the Gentle Minions? Which one was more recent? Barbenheimer was
Barbenheimer.
more
The
recent.
Gentle Minions was the year before that.
Ah, yeah, it's all kind of blurs,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
yeah.
it was a
But
little bit like Gentle Minions as well. But
a little bit, yeah.
yeah, but
Um,
anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to wrap up with like the cinema news of the chicken jockey trend, and a lot of cinemas are like
and
closing the movie off or stopping kids from going. I think some of the cinemas sent Jack Black in to go and tell the crowds not to be insane.
seriously?
Like, yeah, I saw some footage that they sent Jack Black to some American cinemas to tell the fans not to go insane at Chicken Jockey. They had to get Jack Black to do it. They had to get Steve.
That's so funny if he just walks into like the front of the stage and just goes, I am telling you not to go insane.
I'm gonna see if I can find the clip again. I'll clip it in this episode if I
Please
find
do.
it because I gotta
Please
show the
do.
proof. But
For today's presentation of a Minecraft movie, please no throwing popcorn and also no lapis lazuli and also absolutely no chicken jockeys! I and gentlemen. Please enjoy.
Anyway, so let's springboard off of this and get into part two. Let's just dive blocks deep into Minecraft. This was
I mean, oh, right.
This was a movie of all time.
It was a movie. It was a Minecraft movie.
It was a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, this part two is going to be just a complete ramble because what do you expect from a Minecraft movie?
Let's just go through the experience, okay? So
Yeah,
here I am.
it.
I come into the bar when I'm waiting to meet you. I've got a pint of beer and a pint of cider on the table. My man walks in and he's already like 2 shots down or something stupid.
Yeah, because I'd had a uni social, like an end of term social.
Excuses.
Literally that day, I had to go from like spoons to the uni bar to where we were. It was like the world's end.
So we had our drinks, we had our food. I had a very nice burger and
think,
whatever. You had a fish and chips, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I forgot what I had then for a second.
And then your man had the dumb idea of, hey, let's do shots.
Whoa, why are you blaming? This is not my idea.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I said
get something interesting.
On this. Yeah, I mean, it's your fault. It's your fault for doing that.
Absolute shots. And so
they were.
And then we went to the cinema, and we could not escape it. They were playing "Grease is the Word" on the music.
Goddamn Mark Ruffalo trumpet.
And they're just there doing our little dances. Grease is the Word.
Oh man, we can't escape that frigging film.
Can't escape Grease.
We cannot.
It will follow us forever.
We can't escape. We cannot escape it. It will. Yeah, it'll always be there.
Just wait, like a year from now, they're going to announce like a remake of Grease or something.
This is starring Nicolas Cage
and John Cena as Sandy. Oh man. But no. So we walk in, we got the Grease playing, we do a little dance, we get some food, we get some drinks. Then we realize we ordered soda instead of good drinks. So then we ordered more drinks. Went in, got to our seat. Yeah. There was popcorn on my seat. I was a little bit worried about how this show was going to go because I think the previous crowd might have been a bit rowdy.
Maybe, yeah.
But
my seat kept rocking back. I don't know. It wasn't like a recliner because we went to Cineworld. They don't have the recliners there. Do they?
This one, no, my one reclined a bit.
Mine just kept rocking for some reason. I don't know why, but
skill issue. My one
added to the experience of the film.
Added to the experience. Someone got a little too wild in the previous screening. They're probably standing on the chair going, "Yes."
Probably, yeah. But
yes, then we watched the film, and you can gauge the kind of what crowd you had by like the first reaction to. I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines.
That got a clap. I am Steve got a clap.
Yes. Then we had the flint and steel into the nether combo. That was. I
did get like a bigger clap. I am Steve got a big reaction. I don't think the nether got a massive reaction, but I don't think it did.
And then
I just kept pissing myself laughing the whole time.
I want to give a shout out to Nitwit the Villager. Absolutely brilliant character. Love this guy. Honestly, I think spoilers as always for part 2, but I think the funniest part of this movie was when the villagers that don't speak suddenly in the mid-credit scene started talking. It was Matt Berry. It was so out of nowhere.
All people. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely insane.
I think we should do a dub of that at some point where it's us. Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge in as the principal or whatever.
Yeah, and then she starts falling for this villager. The 25-minute scene was unbelievable.
That was mate. This film was at horny levels at points, like them two, and then there was what was the bit with Jack Black and Jason Momoa?
Jack Black and Jason Momoa doing the full man sandwich.
Oh man, and parental guidance was needed.
Definitely. You were going crazy. You were like shocked.
What's going on? Why is this so horny? What is the sexual chemistry with them two is just like it's off the Richter scale, man. It's just like whoa.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, they were Interesting. But
They were.
what did you
Then
think about
obviously,
the what did you think
oh, sorry.
about the songs from Jack Black?
I am ashamed to admit that I have been listening to La 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 Chicken.
Chicken.
Steve have a chicken something else. I don't remember the rest of it.
I think I saw it recently got a record as the shortest song to ever hit the UK top 40. Yeah, Steve's Lava
We got
Chicken made it into the top 40.
because it's not even a minute long, is it, that song?
It's very short. However,
Yeah,
they released an extended version of it on YouTube. And the way they've extended it is by throwing in all the meme lines. It just starts with Chicken Jockey, and then like
for
partway through it
God's
just says, I am
sake.
Steve. And then for no
Christ's
reason
sake.
at all, they threw Flint and Steel in there, because why not?
What?
They know what
I
they're
don't
doing.
get this.
They know
They
what
don't.
sells.
No, they don't.
But,
Actually, they do, yeah.
and then, of course, yeah, we got to the moment. I think at this point we were quite bored. We got to the moment we'd all been waiting for.
I wish that like a point because obviously the novelty of it all wears off because it's a shit film. And I remember I whispered to you. I just turned and was like, I'm just waiting for the chicken jockey bit now. I legit just whispered that to you, and then, but not. It was like 5 minutes, and then it happened. So that was
Yeah.
good. And the you've got it on video, but the crowd
Yes, yeah,
just
I'll clip
went
it. I'll clip it.
wild.
Right to the death, kid! Chicken jockey!
I love that you can hear little bro in the row in front going, "It's coming, it's coming." Yeah. He knew what was going on.
He knew it. Who doesn't? You know, you're gonna know that. Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's just
I like
the
though
amount,
that
the amount of people I've shown that video to as well. It's just I've shown it to
I
so
like
many
though
people.
that it happened, and then like 3 seconds later it was done. It didn't
Yeah.
overstay its welcome. It was like this was a brief moment of reaction, and then it was done.
But my God, it was pitch perfect. That reaction
Yeah.
was. It was just like, yeah, because you don't often get that. You don't often get that in like UK cinemas. It's very rare for people to be like that.
And to be fair, the cinema we went to is usually pretty dead. Like I remember watching Endgame a couple of times at that cinema as well, because I saw it initially at the Cineworld in Birmingham, and that was bad reactions. But as I got to like later screenings, I went to our local one, pretty dead. A couple of laughs and whatever at the funny parts, but no like massive reaction to Cap getting Mjolnir or whatever.
Yeah, or
But,
portals or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so it has been, but even then, so like it has our cinema that near my end is usually pretty dead. So it was nice to see a little bit of life.
Yeah, yeah. I think then we had like a bit of an exclusive for our cinema that I obviously it's not like another one. You know what I mean? It's when the bad guy whose name I've forgotten. What's the
Malgosha.
name? Them, yeah. Basically, they try and shank Steve. They try and shank Steve at the end, and they just eventually just like keel over and die, right? Just like collapse over on the floor. And this one kid, absolute legend in the front row, just goes womp womp. You absolutely.
It was the same
this
guy.
man. Absolutely, he was howling himself. This man was.
It was the same guy who was anticipated Chicken Jockey, and then yeah, Malgosha tries to shank Steve, and then just keels over, and he was just like womp womp. It was so out of nowhere. I was not expecting it. That absolutely floored me.
You were dead at that point. You were absolutely dead. You died, and then obviously the end of the film. Then again, wasn't there another clap at the end?
Yeah, there was a clap
There
at the
was.
credits, and then some people
was the
stuck around
credits, yeah.
for the nitwit speaking scene, and it was Matt Berry, which was ridiculous.
We absolutely howled ourselves, and then you got an exclusive from us too at the very end. This was your idea, right? I'm dobbing you in because this was your idea to do this. This man literally said on the count of three, stand up and say "Absolute Cinema." Just stop. I just went "Absolute Cinema."
Yeah, deserved.
And then didn't I plug the podcast? I just like check out our podcast.
Yeah. At the end, right after the final scene, like they'd done the final post-credit scene. He met Alex. Everyone was cheering. Then you just yelled, "Check out our podcast."
I did as well, and I confess I did do that.
The thing is, you didn't even tell them what a podcast was called. This was the worst advertising I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, it's like, come by our house. Where? And the house is actually a Portaloo.
Yeah.
It's that kind of advertising.
No. Oh
Yeah,
man,
well,
but no,
yeah.
that was
So-
the experience. We
Yeah,
then went
and
back
that's the
to
main
another
thing.
bar after. We went back to the bar afterwards and had another
The
drink.
same one. The same.
The same one. And as soon as we walked in, it started playing the trollololol music, which was so weird.
Yeah, because
They
they
had
were
like a
on
pub quiz going on.
And
Yeah.
I was like, what's it on? What's
The
going
next
on?
thing we know, the John Cena theme tune went on. And I think the funniest part was you were pretty deep into your another drink, and this woman was talking to a table behind you, and you thought she was talking
Yeah.
to you. You had that real
But I was in
main
the
character energy going on.
But I was in the middle. I look, and it's like they're having this conversation. I was in the middle, and I'm like, "Are you talking to me? What's going on?"
And then I lost. I was dead on the table with that.
You lost it. You lost it.
Bro really
Mate.
thought he was Steve.
I did. I did. You know, I was channeling the Jack Black energy, of course. Apparently, was I? I don't know.
Maybe. But
Maybe.
anyway, that was the experience. And then
That was.
so let's talk about the movie itself. Terrible, right?
What is there to talk about? What is there to talk about?
Terrible.
That's the thing. It's like if we were just solely judging this as a film, like we'd be over in 5 minutes because there's
Yeah.
what do you talk about? Because it's like the plot is just a MacGuffin quest. It's just them looking for the Tesseract, isn't it? It's
Although I
just
will
a
give
blue
shout
cube.
out to my man Chungus. I don't know why they named him
General-
Chungus, but they
General
named him
Chung-
Chungus.
Hang on, have you ever? I don't know if you've seen this deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith. Hello there, General Chungus. Why was he called that? I don't know.
I think they just went, hey, you know what kids found funny a bunch of years ago? Big Chungus. Let's name him Chungus.
I can't wait for the sequel where they have a Ugandan Knuckles turn up.
Um,
From like 10 years ago, what?
man.
What is this, 2017?
Now I'm hoping that I think they're going to do a sequel. They've announced a sequel. I think
Yeah.
if they were smart, the sequel would purely be about the chicken jockey underground fighting scene. It will be a gritty real life drama about the struggles of a baby zombie trying to make it up the ranks as a chicken jockey.
It's gonna be like Fight Club, but in Minecraft.
It's been like a mix of Fight Club and Rocky. Get it directed by Nolan. Get Nolan to direct it.
No, Scorsese.
Scorsese direct.
And they're like dropping F-bombs and everything. Yeah. That should be like a
all
Disney
out on
Plus
this.
spin-off.
Yeah.
There should be like a Disney Plus spin-off, that should.
No, they need to do a spin-off purely of Nitwit and the Vice Principal.
You just bumped up the age rating by like 3 notches there.
I would watch this though, no cap. I would watch this.
It's gonna be like Matt Berry as
Yeah,
Nitwit.
yeah, gotta be Matt Berry. But that was like the most interesting storyline was where is this going?
Yeah, it was like a sitcom. It just kept cutting back to it, and that's the thing. Like on a kind of serious note for a second, that's the thing with this film. It's structured appallingly because it's just like, okay, so at the beginning, you're introduced to Steve. You know, you think, oh, he's gonna be the main protagonist, and then we get Jason Momoa as like what's his name, Garrett, or I don't know,
Yeah,
Mr.
Garrett, the
Garrison,
garbage
whatever.
man.
Yeah, Mr. Garrison from South Park, whatever. I don't know. My brain's there. But he's like this like 80s gamer. And Dan TDM made a cameo, and El Shadow, a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers made a cameo in that scene, which for me was like really cool because I obviously grew up with them. Mainly Dan TDM and Stampede, but seeing Dan was awesome and whatnot. But yeah, it's like okay, so now we focus on Jason Momoa, and he can't sell his. What was it? What was it even about? It was like he was selling.
Bro needed money.
Yeah, he needed money to like rent out his like gaming store or whatever. I can't remember. And then it's about the kid now, and it's like, who's the main character? You know,
Yeah.
what was the kid's name again? I forgot.
Which one?
The lad. What was his name?
Henry?
I don't know. But it's like him and his sister. They're moving house, and their parents have died, and yeah, real.
Which was really out of nowhere as well.
Yeah, really left turn there.
It just really dropped that out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, it's true. That's what the plot was. Well, that's
Yeah.
what the film does. It just moves from like this plot to this plot to this plot, and it's like there's no cohesion at all. And then you've got Dawn, and Daniel Brooks is a great actress, but she does nothing. She has nothing to do in the film.
Yeah, she really didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I say like great actress, but like she does nothing. Like you could cut her out, and really you could cut the sister character out. Again, there's nothing for them to do really. It's just a bit. Oh, well, okay.
I
But
feel like you could have
it's
just
just
cut everyone except for Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and the villager.
and Nitwit.
Got
Yeah,
to keep
you
Nitwit
got to
in.
keep Nit. You got to keep Nitwit. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, that's the thing. The plotting is like a crappy sitcom.
Mm.
Where it cuts like different stories and whatnot. Um, but it's just so unfocused as a film. The script is terrible, and as I said, it cuts from all this action with the Minecraft overworld, and then you've got the stuff in the real world with
And then
the
he's got
principal
Nitwit
and
and the
Nitwit.
vice principal having dinner. And it's
Yeah,
just like, why
it's
is
like
it cut at this point?
yeah, it's random, man. It's so random. But yeah, it's so poorly plotted in that way. And it does just turn your brain to mulch. And as we said earlier, there was a point where the novelty of like the meme quality of the film had just worn off, and we were just like, I'm just waiting for the chicken jockey bit now.
Yeah.
'Cause there's nothing to latch onto really. In terms of like the story, in terms of like the whole theme of like being creative, which obviously Minecraft is all about. It's just taking the moral message of the Lego movie, but without like the soul that film had. You know,
Yeah.
there's so much you could do with that kind of story, but they just don't. And yeah, it's just a bizarre. It's just bizarre. The world building as well, because it's so. For anyone who doesn't know Minecraft as a game, it's so unclear like how this works because Steve's just a normal bloke, but in the games he is part of the Minecraft world. So what's going on? And it's like, how does any of this work and whatnot? It's so it obviously it's made for fans. I get that, but you've got to at least kind of build the world properly into like a building a story and whatnot. I mean, and it's Minecraft. It's an open world. It's an open sandbox world game, so you can make any story that you want. Why is it the most generic shit ever?
I'm I want to say that it's going to do what most video game movies do, where the first one's not great, but the second one's good. But this one was
But
so
I don't.
bad. I don't know if
And
the
also,
second one's going to be good.
I don't want to keep having to wait for the next one to be good. I don't want to have to keep waiting for that to be a
Yeah.
thing.
But
It is kind of a bit irritating.
overall, though, final thoughts. I expect an Oscar nomination for Matt Berry. Uh, and I think there were still a few good, funny scenes that weren't in the trailers or whatever. I did find
Mhm.
like Malgosha trying to sneak attack at the end. I thought that was quite funny. It was made funnier by the kid who said "womp womp," but uh,
Yeah.
it was really uncomfortably funny. The full man sandwich with Jack Black and
Oh
Jason
God.
Momoa.
Oh
It
yeah.
was it was
What was going on
uncomfortably
there?
funny, but I think it was
Yeah.
more funnier because of you, to be fair.
Probably.
But overall, it was
Yeah.
an outing. We had a fun time with it. Watch it if
Yeah.
anyone watching at home, watch it with people. Watch it with alcohol. It's much better
Yes.
this way. Trust me.
It's the only way.
If you're underage,
I
drink. I don't care. If you don't drink,
oh
drink. You'll need it.
I have to just like add a touch of balance to that. If you are under the age of 18 in the UK or 21 in the USA, don't drink alcohol because it's not good for your kids. But if you're over the age of 18, drink your heart out.
Lame. Drink anyway.
I'm
Nah,
just
it's
doing it
fine.
so we don't get any
Yeah,
legal,
yeah,
we don't
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
sued for like irresponsible behavior on a podcast.
Me,
Yeah, I think
irresponsible
overall,
behavior? Never.
yeah, right. But I think overall, I will actually give it this. I think the one thing I think watching the film, I will give it credit for. I think the actual production design, I think it does look pretty good. Like how it kind of replicates the Minecraft world and whatnot, and the different environments. Obviously, some of the mobs are a bit odd, but I think I kind of got used to them as the film went on. And I think a lot of the textures of like obviously the different the biomes and whatnot. I think it visually it wasn't too bad in that sense. I think just when they started adding like the human characters in there, it just looked like they were in front of a green screen most of the time,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And like some of the mobs I say look a bit odd, and I don't like it when they do like the like it's like all humans reacting to a Minecraft thing. So it's like when they punch a block and it floats, and it's like, oh, it doesn't, it's a bit. Come on, anyone that kid who said one could have thought of a better joke than that, and he did, and he did
Absolute
when
legend.
he said one. He
Shout
was.
out to that kid wherever you are. Absolute
We
legend.
don't even know. We don't even know who he is, but yeah. But
Random bro on row
oh,
E.
but overall, yeah, it is. It's a crap film, but it was a ton of fun. Like it was a great experience. But I think going forward, because this has been a big cinematic event, I think the biggest one, as I say, since Barbenheimer, I would say. I kind of hope, like, I had fun with it, but I do hope that Hollywood does not learn the wrong lessons. Please don't keep trying to manufacture this kind of quality, because a lot of the enjoyment came from just the fans and like picking up on certain lines and Jack Black's occasional funny delivery and whatnot. That's where the fun comes from, not from because it simultaneously feels like it had no soul and passion, and also has a hell of a lot of charm from the cast. It's weird like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Jack Black's charisma carried it a lot, to be
I think
fair.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
overall, I'm gonna say it was so bad it was good, and that brings us
absolutely,
into part three of the episode where we're
yeah.
gonna be talking about
I'll give
movies that are so bad they're funny or good.
I will give a little score. For me, 4 out of 10 for the Minecraft movie. Again, like objectively speaking, it was probably like a two or something. But I do often factor in if I enjoy the film a hell of a lot, even if it's ironically, that can elevate the film, as you'll see with the films that we're covering part three. Which, mate, I cannot wait to see what we're going to cover.
Yeah, I think objectively 2 out of 10 on the film. As a cinema experience, like 8 out of 10 because that was very fun. But
No, 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 no. 69 out of 10. Absolute cinema. That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right. Let's get on to part three now.
Let's do this. Like, I'm tired.
So yeah, part three, we're going to talk about movies that are just so bad that they're kind of good or funny or I don't know, just that they're not completely awful.
Yeah, but you do actually get some enjoyment out of them, even though they're
Yeah,
all
so
kind of
Madam Web has left the chat.
yeah. Although I mean that does have some ironic appeal. Like I think it
Mm,
does. It's not a lot, but I think like a like a little bit, like a smidge.
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend Madam Web though. To be fair, I don't have it in me.
Is it Morbin time?
No, no, that's worse than Madam Web. That is, mate, that's worse than Madam Web.
It's
No,
always
all
Morbin time.
my films, are, all my films, I just realised are pre like 1995.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
got some old ass. I got some old ass movies on my list. To be fair,
I think one of mine is pre-95. I got
hmm
one from the 80s, one from the 90s, and one from the noughties.
okay. I got an 80s film, a 90s film, and a 60s film.
Okay, who
Mhm.
starts?
Uh, I'll start. I'll start. Why not?
Go on then.
I'll start off my most recent film, which is from 1991, so it's not that recent, but it's a Bruce Willis film, and it's one of the dumbest films I've seen in recent memory. It's Hudson Hawk. Don't know if you've seen this one or heard of it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So as I say, it's a Bruce Willis film from 1991. It's this like crime thriller film. So he stars as Eddie Hawkins or Hudson Hawk. That's his nickname. It's very clever in it. Way. But he's a thief who has been in jail for like 8 years, and he's getting out of prison. And his mate, played by Danny Aiello, he's in the car waiting. How many times have you heard that set up for a film? You know, it
Yeah.
started off. It started off. I thought very generic, and I was like, okay, it's just gonna be like I'm gonna forget this in a week. And then they go on like another heist and whatnot. And obviously it's like this like whole crime caper where they have to steal stuff and it's one last job and whatnot, and they have to defeat these evil rich English people. But it's so weirdly done. Like as I said, they go on another heist, these two, and out of nowhere they just break into a musical number, and I'm like, this is it's not a musical. What? What's going on? And they just break into like this song for no reason. And I was like, what's going on? And then you also have like these mafia bot. Oh my god, what's he doing? He's doing the Roger Moore Aberrose.
What is this?
I don't, that's what I was asking. I was like, I didn't know this was meant to be a musical, and that's like the only song in the film. It's like, what? Yeah, it's so random and out of nowhere. It just caught me so off guard. And
Okay.
the goddamn stereotypes in the film, it's like the sort of like Italian American mafia bosses that these guys face. They are like proper, like they'd be ordering coffee. It's that kind of stereotype. The English people who are like the bad guys, like Richard E. Grant's the villain, they want these guys to steal like some of Leonardo da Vinci's work or something, I think. And like they've got like this laser or something. And at one point, a dog gets kicked out a window, and I'm just like, yeah. And the English people as well, they're like the most stereotypically English people you'll ever meet. It's like, I said Sonic 3. It's like they're written how Americans think British people are.
Right.
Look at
Okay.
this
Yeah.
19 they think this is 1991. So this is like, Posho Poshington with a twirly moustache, that kind of, smoking a cigar and a cup of tea and saluting the Queen and crumpets. It's that kind of stereotypically English, and it's so weird. It's not a good film, and the action sequences are bonkers. There's one bit where Bruce Willis is fighting someone in like a moving stretcher from an ambulance. Like it's
Okay.
actually fell out of the ambulance, and it's like it's like Moonraker. I don't know what's going on. It's just like what? Yeah,
What was this thing
yeah.
called again?
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk. I might have to
Yeah,
check this out. This sounds ridiculous.
yeah. I'd give it a what. You might enjoy it. I think it's the kind of
I
film
might
you'd
do.
probably enjoy.
I do kind of like absurdly bad movies that end up being
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah, it is quite. It's not
Okay.
awful, but it is not very good at all. It's
Yeah.
really cheesy and stupid and like, and it also kind of, I say, 1991. It kind of feels like an awkward like hangover from like the days of the big 80s dumb action films. Like it almost feels like an awkward hangover of that era of cinema in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like how like superhero films now feel like this awkward hangover from the 2010s. That's kind of what Hudson
Hmm.
Hawk sort of feels like to me anyway.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway,
Um,
that's all I got for Hudson Hawk. So you go next.
I've got a movie that also feels like something of an awkward hangover for its series. I'm going to say the actor, and I want you to try and guess what the movie is.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Is it a Terminator film? No, it's part of a series, is it?
Yeah.
Um,
I could throw you another name. Uma Thurman.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Oh my God, I would not watch this film in like donkey's years.
I watched it about a year ago. No, I think it was May last year. I went over to my mate Aaron's house. We were supposed to be doing a Five Guys at Freddy's, but half of the people didn't turn up. So we decided
Oh yeah.
we played this spin-off game and it was pretty bad. And at one point there was like some snowman enemies. So we started quoting Mr. Freeze to no end.
Oh,
And then we
oh.
just decided that Aaron was just like, okay, I've got this movie on DVD. Should we just watch it? And so we
Fair
just
enough.
sat down, me, Aaron, and Bonbon. We just sat down. We just watched Batman and Robin. But we fast
We,
forwarded through a whole bunch of the filler stuff just to get to the next Mr. Freeze stuff.
it was like it's like the 1990s version of the Minecraft movie where you're just like waiting for the
Yeah,
next Mr. Freeze
you're just
line.
waiting for the next meme line. That's what it is. The
Can you
Minecraft
just imagine
movie
if
is
like
basically the new Batman and Robin.
can you imagine if like Jack Black played Mr. Freeze? Or
I
Arnie
am Freeze.
wait no or if Arnie played Steve. I am Steve.
Chicken Jockey. Come on, get to the end of pill. The nether.
Done. Oh man. I kind of want to see that now. Then I have seen Batman and Robin, as I say, but it was years ago now.
I think it goes without
Um,
explaining what's so bad about it, but it is
yeah,
really stupid funny though.
yeah, like it is obviously like that really like shitty period of like late 90s blockbusters that were just shit,
It was
you
the
know.
hangover from Batman Forever, which I think Batman Forever isn't that bad, but like
Mhm.
it followed on from the Tim Burton Batman films, which were pretty good. And then
Yeah,
then you got Batman Forever, which was worse, but still okay. I like kind of what Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee
Tommy Lee
Jones were
Jones.
doing. And then we got
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
We got
It's
Mr.
just
Freeze
yeah.
reeling off as many ice puns
I
as possible.
my favorite
We
one is
got the
I
bat
think my favorite one
nipples,
is oh, and you got the back credit card.
the bat credit card.
Well, it's like the Adam West Batman.
Yeah,
It's like that on steroids.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah. I love the what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice
The Ice
Age.
Age.
I love that bit. I don't know what I need to or like chill.
Tonight's storm.
I
Nah, tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
kind of want to watch Batman and Robin again because I said I haven't watched it since I was like eight or it's like seven
Oh
or eight.
man.
And I had no concept of taste back then. But
No
I
one
would
does at
I
that
would
age. It's fine.
yeah, true. But I kind of love to rewatch it like as a piss take. Because weirdly I've seen people kind of not come around on the film, but it's no longer the absolute worst superhero film that's ever been made anymore. Like people do not I don't think people say that anymore about
Oh yeah, because
Batman
Madam
and
Web
Robin.
exists now.
Yeah. Well, no Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate exists.
Oh nah.
Also, legit, why does Arnie in that movie look like a live action Megamind? He dead ass does. He does.
No, it's a bad film, but hey, that's yeah. I
Yeah.
thought I'd bring that one up. That was the first thing that came to mind when I said to do this category. I was like, Batman and Robin's coming up in this thing.
Oh
This is
yeah.
non-negotiable. But we'll throw it
Yeah.
back to you now. So, what's your next film?
Okay, so I'll go. I mentioned the 60s, very corny time at points. Obviously Adam
Yeah.
West. But I've gone for right, this is kind of what's coming because I told you kind of I gave you hints. There's a bit of a weird obsession of mine recently is the Elvis Presley movies. Obviously, Elvis Presley, famous singer of 50s, 60s, and 70s, but he also had an absolutely shite movie career during those like the 50s and 60s. So many of these films are shit. I did a video covering three of those goddamn things. Three of them. Three of them, including GI Blue Balls, which I covered, but we're not going to talk about that. It's so good. But the one I'm going to talk about, I watched this film that I'm going to talk about specifically for this, right?
Okay.
So you better thank me for this. And it is Clam Bake. We're gonna have a clam bake. Yeah, Clam Bake. That's the film. You probably never heard of it, have you?
This this is to me what me saying, "Dude, where's my car?" was to you.
Isn't it? Okay, I think so. Right, so Clam Bake. This is about Elvis's character. I need to look at what his name. Scott Haywood. Right, that's his name apparently. I swear most of his names are just made with like fucking Scrabble letters. To be fair, his characters' names anyway. So Scott Haywood, he is the son of an oil baron, right? And he trades places with the water ski instructor in Florida. It's like a sort of Prince and the Pauper kind of story, right?
Okay.
They don't explore that concept particularly like nuanced ways. They don't. That's just like window dressing. It's just because that's the thing with these Elvis movies. They only existed to have like songs and to sell Elvis, right?
Yeah.
But this is like later on in his career, in his film career. So it's just stupid. It's like Looney Tunes but live action. It's so stupid. He's trying to win like a race, like a boat race, as the skiing instructor guy. There's this thing called Goop, which his company makes. It's like some like gooey shit, I don't know, and it like fixes things.
Okay.
But it made me laugh every time. There's a song where it comes up in one of the lyrics. It's just stupid. And there's also a song about. There's literally a song called Confidence where it's Elvis singing to a bunch of kids at a playground. That sounds. I've got to be really careful how I word this. That it sounded like really Nazi. But this is. Oh, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Take two.
Right. So there's a song called Confidence, that's it. So it is set at a playground, and there's a girl who can't go down the slide because she's scared. And so Elvis starts singing about having confidence, right? And so she slides down, and then he's on a fucking climbing frame for some reason, like those like dome ones. And he's just miming stuff. And now that all the kids like reenacting like the Civil War and like Indians and cowboys, and it's like,
What?
let's go. And then like, this random ice cream man just gets her involved for some reason. That whole song has to be seen to be believed.
You got to send me that after we're done here. I got to watch
I
that
will.
clip. You got to send me that.
I burst. It was so weird, man. It was so weird. I don't know what was going on. That's the thing. These films, they're so bonkers, and I love the ironic appeal, but they are so poorly made. They're so cheap. The actual like filmmaking is shit. The songs in these later ones are usually shit. The acting is shit. The story is shit. The films are shit. The shit is shit. How many shits was that?
I don't know. I couldn't give one.
Fair enough. This is my revenge for Dude, Where's My Car? Or whatever it was called.
Right, nah, Dude, Where's My Car is a masterpiece compared to what you've just
So is,
described.
so is Clanbake. No, Clanbake's not a masterpiece, but GI Blue Balls, that is a masterpiece. I should clarify, it's called GI Blues for everyone watching, but like, I call it GI Blue Balls because it's funny. And because Elvis cannot get a woman in that film to save his life. It's so embarrassing to watch. It genuinely is. Anyway, what's your next?
Yeah, let's move on. I'm going to talk about a movie from the 80s that
Yeah, let's move on.
let's move on. Let's get past this. I'm going to talk about a movie from the 80s. If I remember correctly, this was billed as being quite a big deal because it
Was
was
it now?
the meeting of, I believe Steven Spielberg and George Lucas were both involved in this.
Were they?
I think, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to think what it would be then.
Let me look it up. I'm going to let you try and figure out what you think it's going to be while I look it up to make sure that I am not stupid.
It'd be really funny if it was the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, 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 no.
But that's the
I've not
that's the
seen that.
70s. So.
I've not seen that. But
Spielberg and George Lucas. Is it Howard the Duck? It's Howard the Duck, isn't it? It's Howard the goddamn Duck.
It's Howard the Duck.
I forgot George. Did George Lucas direct that then?
I'm just looking up now the credits. I'm not sure, but I remember they were both involved in it in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched to wear Howard the Duck. I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but now I haven't done drugs.
Yeah, you are.
I haven't done drugs. And at that age, I didn't drink. But Howard the Duck felt like drugs.
I can name like a good few films that feel like taking drugs.
It
Like the
felt
ones I
like
mentioned
drugs.
already.
It was absolutely ridiculous. About this duck from a planet where everyone is humanoid ducks that suddenly gets sent to Earth. No, the stuff where in the planet where everyone's humanoid duck, it was very weird. It looked very strange. But yeah, man, he ends up on Earth. Again, it's been like 3 or 4 years at this point. I may not remember all the details. He ends up on Earth. Some little while later, he ends up in bed with a woman. This is a duck.
Yeah, this is. There's so many jokes I want to make right now that I probably can't. He don't give a duck.
Bro, you really quacked me up with that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But and then yeah, eventually it all leads to a point where
you got to egg him on. To quote that kid from the cinema, womp womp.
Womp womp. But no, then we get to a point where he's supposed to be fighting. But there's supposed to be like this. I don't know what it was supposed to be. Some sort of like interdimensional evil space entity that suddenly arrives on Earth, and it's the weirdest looking. Like I think it was like I think it was a stop motion creature at this point, but it was a weird looking thing that came and tried to kill Howard. And then next thing you know, it ends, and Howard's on stage with this girl who he'd already slept with. And it was an absolute acid trip. So.
Because it's Leah Thompson, you know, from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Marty
She went
McFly's
back
mum.
to the future.
I mean, never mind trying to bang Marty. I've never seen Howard the Duck, and I don't have any plans to. Yeah, anyway, I mean, maybe one day.
You should. It's peak cinema.
Yeah, no, it's absolute cinema.
I'm going to throw it back to you. I don't want to linger on Howard the Duck any longer than we have to. Let's throw it back to you.
Yeah, because I don't give a duck about that. Anyway, don't be
Bad.
pulling that face. Do not be pulling that face. Right. Okay,
Bad.
my shut up. My final
Bad. Get off the stage.
No, no.
Boo.
I'll get a grip. Uh, um, anyway, my final film is also from the 1980s, the mid 80s, right? And it
Okay.
is the first James Bond film that I'm covering. There's my Bond poster in the background there. Um, and so yeah, obviously you all know I'm a big James Bond fan. It's pretty my
Oh,
favorite
really?
like big franchise.
Oh, really? I did not know this.
Shut up, bro. I've actually got my Bond mug as well. I forgot to add that. But anyway, see, obviously, I love the Bond films, but I recognize that some of them are kind of crap, right? Now, obviously, there are the ones that are crap and not fun, like Spectre, which you have seen. I'm sorry, I really pray for you, son, that you have to watch that. I'm really sorry about that. But I'm going to go back because I think a lot of people always talk about like nowadays the Daniel Craig films, but I go back to like, the older ones. I'm going to talk about one of the Roger Moore films because he's my favorite Bond. He was Bond throughout like the 70s and 80s and whatnot. And I'm going to talk about his final Bond film, A View to a Kill, with the song that Duran Duran did. Um, they did the title song of the film, and this is often cited as one of the worst Bond films. It was his last one, as I say. And Roger Moore was 57 when he did this. He was playing Bond at nearly 60 years old.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I think is I will kind of defend because I don't think you can be too old to play Bond because I do think some of the criticism against him, like at the time and now, is quite unfair and a bit mean spirited. Um, but it's like when the film is not trying to hide, like there's like the stunt doubles have more screen time than he does. It's that level where it's like you just don't believe it. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the film it's a very generic sort of plot. You know, the plot is basically just the plot of Goldfinger again, but it's about this guy Zorin, played by Christopher Walken. He's the main villain of the film
Okay.
in this one, but he's like this insane like Nazi experiment scientist baby, right? He was experimented on, and he's like this weird, crazy guy, and he runs his own business, and he's trying to get a monopoly on like silicon in Silicon Valley, um, and Bond has to stop him. You know, a very generic sounding plot, but there's so many weird choices in this film. As I say, the whole thing of Bond being nearly 60, and they're trying to play it as if he's always been like this. It's so strange when like we're having to use like stunt doubles for him, even like running across the street to a taxi. So obviously he's not going to do that jump or like do that like snowboarding dive in the pre-credits. Of course he can't do that, you know. Or like when he's with obviously the women who are like 30 years younger than him. It's awkward as it's really awkward. I think the main thing as well is the main Bond girl, Stacey, played by Tanya Roberts. Obviously, she was like nearly 30 years younger than him. But not only was she younger than him, her mum in real life was younger than Roger Moore.
Oh,
So that was like what it was like telling him. It was like, okay, maybe I do need to like, you know, step back from the role.
yeah.
But I think it's so bonkers. Like, yeah, I think that pre-credit scene. There's one in it's like a sea chase action scene, a very generic Bond setup. But the way they make it different, they play a Beach Boys song in it for some reason.
Okay.
I don't like just out of nowhere. He does the big stunt where he jumps off a glacier, and then they start playing California Girls by the Beach Boys, or it's like a cover of that song. It's like, what? Why are you doing this? And yeah, you got guys like Max Zorin, you know, Chris Walken. He's great as the bad guy, but he's really off the wall and nutty because you know Chris Walken is
Yeah.
as an actor. Um, what else? Grace Jones, she plays the sort of henchwoman Mayday. They have a really weird like sexual chemistry. It's like Jack Black and Jason Momoa in Minecraft. It's like so weird. Like they do a bit of karate training and then it turns into them like making out. It's fucking weird.
I don't remember that in the
Yes.
Minecraft movie though.
Yeah, this is the proper one. What
Yeah.
else what else? Dolph Lundgren makes a cameo as well because
Oh,
he was part as like a Soviet agent. He was Grace Jones's partner at the time, but he just
okay.
appears for like 5 seconds. Alison Doody, she was you know in Last Crusade, she was Ilsa.
Oh yeah.
She's in this film as one of like Zorin's hench people. They have her and Bond have a good innuendo off. It's absolutely hilarious because it's like they're obviously like Zoran's about like horse riding at the start, which is it's this one's all over the place. It really is, but it's also really conventional, and it's like Minecraft. It's simultaneously very dull, generic, and formulaic, but also it has these baffling creative choices that are just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am glad that I finally got to talk about a Bond film, even if it's not the best one to talk about. I promise I will talk about a good one on one of these podcasts. I will. I promise.
Okay.
But I think obviously because you're big on like your 80s action movies like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. This is like 85, so Commando came out that year. First Blood Part 2 came out that year. Other big blockbusters like Back to the Future came out that year. And you watch A View to a Kill, and it feels so like behind the times. It's like because it's obviously the Bond formula that they've been doing for like 20 years at that point.
Yeah.
So it feels so out of the loop at this point compared to what else was coming out at that time. And I say I enjoy it, but I recognize that even as a big Roger Moore fan, it just feels very like antiquated and just kind of it needed a refresh at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason I love Bond because it does always like refresh itself every so often, you know. But they're all my stupid films. What you got?
All right. Well, my last one
It-
features Nicolas Cage.
Yes, the return of Nicky Boy.
My heart wanted to talk about Willy's Wonderland, but I think I've dragged this to death. So
Even I've talked. Even I've
even
talked about
you've
this.
talked about it already. So I think we're done talking about Willy's Wonderland until like the sequel, because I think they are making a sequel.
Are they actually?
I think they are.
Oh my god, we got to do that should be a spotlight. The Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, that's
sequel.
the next like that's the Minecraft episode of whenever that comes out.
Oh man.
It's,
Okay,
um,
what's the new Nick Cage film that you've got?
Okay, so I've got a Nick Cage film. Surely you must have some educated guesses on what could be Nick Cage's so bad it's funny film.
I don't know because is it one that you've talked about like a lot before?
I don't know how much I've talked about it before, but I've definitely, talked about it on some
Brought it up.
videos.
Okay, it's not the 90s trilogy. It's not Con Air, Face Off. It's
No,
not
this is one
those.
from the 2000s.
2000s.
It was a remake.
Wicker Man.
Yeah,
No, not the Beast.
gotta go with the
Oh,
bees. So I chose Wicker Man because
is okay? Okay, what is better, Wicker Man or B movie?
I haven't seen B movie in a long time, but no cap, Wicker Man.
Mate,
Hear
I
me
love
out.
B
Hear me
movies.
out.
I should pick B movie, but anyway.
But here's the thing with Wicker Man. I actually don't think it's that bad per se. It's if you take it for the fact that it's not meant to be a horror, it's meant to be an intentional kind of dark comedy. That Nick Cage was very adamant about this, so that it was intended to be a little bit funny. I think it's not that bad.
Crank that up to the max because a little bit funny. That is the understatement of the fucking century.
I think it's like I think I think the mystery of the island that he has to go to, I think it's interesting. I think it's good enough as it is. But I think if you're expecting a horror movie, you're not getting a horror movie. Because that's the problem, is that people expected a horror movie because that's what the original one from 79 or something was. 73.
73.
Ah.
Have you ever seen the original? The Christopher Lee one?
No, I've not seen the original.
I feel I want to watch it because obviously it's like an iconic like British folk horror film. And it was a big influence on the League of Gentlemen. Don't you have heard of that one?
Okay, yeah.
It's the show that I love, and like Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith took a lot of inspiration from like the whole kind of small town creepy folk horror kind of thing.
Yeah.
They took inspiration from that when they did League of Gentlemen, which is a bloody amazing show. So I would love to watch the original, especially, and I might give the remake a shot one of the days.
Yeah, I think it's just that a lot of people like the original and they like the folk horror, and then they go into this new one expecting a similar vibe, and it's a very different vibe.
I mean, I mean, you can't blame people for that because obviously the original's so iconic and whatnot, and as a great bit of horror, it's kind of what people think of when they think of like folk horror films and like
Yeah.
stories and whatnot. But I mean, actually, I will give it that as even though I haven't seen The Wicker Man, I respect it for not just copying the original. If
Yeah.
that in that case, I respect that.
But I think, in the most part, the reason it's as funny as it is because of Nicolas Cage. And some of the stuff he says and does is absolutely hilarious. Holding a woman at gunpoint for a bike, for example, step away from the bike. There's also one scene where he just hysterically repeats how to get burned to this woman. Just like he had a burned doll, was just like how to get burned, how to get burned. He just completely unhinged. There's another scene where he is trying to infiltrate the ceremony that's going on. So as you do, he dressed up in a bear costume, and
The
he just
furry.
makes his way up. No, don't do this to me. So he makes his way up to a pair of women, and the women were just standing there, and then they welcome him, thinking he's another one of her sisters. So he rocks his way up, dressed up as his bear, and throws the mean right hook at this woman and just knocks her out. It's so unexpected. And then, of course, you've got some gold lines, absolutely gold lines, like "Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey." And then, of course, the piece de resistance, which you won't get in the main version, you have to watch the extended cut for this, is the torture scene where they bash his kneecaps in, they carry him up to the hill, they put a helmet on his head, and as I think we all know, they pour some very obnoxiously CGI'd bees into his helmet while he repeatedly screams, "No, not the bees! Ah, they're in my eyes! Ah!"
I think somebody should clip that and like CGI like green screen a helmet over your face and CGI some bees over that. Editors, make it
It's
happen.
it's the way though as well that when they're pouring the bees pour out like a liquid. It's like they just pour these bees, and then
Yeah, physics don't work like that. That's not how physics
the
works.
context that you don't get behind this scene is that his character's allergic to bees. That's why he's
Oh,
so
is it?
distressed by it. But most people who've seen the meme don't know that. But that's why he's so upset about the fact that there are bees. It's because he's allergic
I
to
mean,
them.
to be fair, whether or not you're allergic to bees, right? I think if you had a helmet on and you were trapped, you couldn't move, and bees were just coming at your face and all that stuff, I think anybody would be reasonably terrified. So it's really naturalistic, I think.
Although I find it funny that absolutely none of the bees were near his eyes when he was screaming that they're in his eyes. Instead, they were near his mouth. Like, bro, keep your mouth shut. Don't let the bees get in there. But
That's what he should do.
nah,
He should just like,
and I think probably one of the weirdest parts is that at the very end they set up a sequel, and there's no chance that's ever paying off. I don't know why they decided to do this, but they set up a possibility for a sequel. But
The Wicker Man
ultimately,
2.
it was Electric Boogaloo. But ultimately, it was one of those films where it was all right, but it was funny because of Cage.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily great, but it was really funny, and that was because of Cage. So it was pretty bad, but it was good.
Yeah. Well, that was absolute shit. All of that. It's just shit.
Yep.
But
That
I'm
was
glad
our
we got another
episode.
Nick Cage film.
Yeah,
that
I
was,
had to bring Nick Cage in. I almost wanted to bring John Cena into the mix again, but I didn't have anything for that I haven't discussed already.
what was your picks?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to bring Cena into it, but I couldn't find a suitable pick. But
I mean, the thing is, all these films the three that I picked, I've seen them this year, so they are quite fresh in my mind.
yeah, see, I picked ones I haven't
Mhm.
watched in a while, but they stuck with me because of how bad they were.
Yeah, I just wanted to like A View to a Kill. I did rewatch the other week, and the other two I've seen for the first time this year. Yeah, part of me does kind of wish I'd picked an out. I would like to try and discuss an animated film on one of these like part threes at some point in the future.
Okay. I don't know what we're going to do
But
for part 3 next episode.
yeah, time will tell. It always does. I don't
Yeah,
really know
let's
what we're
forget
doing
on that.
for the next episode anyway.
Yeah, I have not a clue.
Yeah,
People watching, put in the comments if there's something you want to see us cover in the next episode's
yeah.
part 3, or it might be the episode afterwards, but just give some ideas.
Mhm. I'm potentially for like part two anyway, like Mission Impossible Final Reckoning possibly could be a spotlight for next one.
Possibly. I need to watch any of the other Mission Impossibles first, though, because I've not seen any of
Mate,
them. But
I'm doing it. I watched the first one the other night, and I saw like the sixth one when it came out years ago. But I'm going through them all. So
yeah, it could be
I mean,
something.
I'll be watching Final Reckoning. So that possibly, and we could do. I think we wanted to do like three Tom Cruise films for that whenever that sort of comes out. So
Yeah, that could work.
that could be a future one.
But yeah,
But
time
yeah, I
will
mean,
tell.
yeah, this is almost like the season. Like if this is like a season of TV, this is like the season finale, really.
Yeah.
Like it has been building up to the Minecraft episode, really,
I was
since.
thinking it would be like every year was like a new season, but I think every 10 episodes being a new season is good. And Minecraft does feel like a finale episode for us.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah, I
cue
know,
some
like
like some
10.
somber music? Can we just get like some somber piano
Yeah,
playing, like
yeah.
nostalgic music, just to reminisce the times we've had?
Oh yes.
Chicken
Is this
jockey.
what? Is this what? Is this where it cuts like a montage? There's got to be the morning after.
And now from one joke to another. Jokeophonia, do.
Wait, what? Wait, where's this come from?
We were reminiscing.
I don't want to reminisce on Joker 2.
Alien Romulus.
Wolfman.
Better than Inside Out 2.
Bang.
Dude's where my car.
Um,
Dude, where's my car? Dude,
dude,
where's my
no,
car?
dude, how's my
Dude, how's
car?
my
Is what
car?
we should
How
be
is my
asking.
car? How do you want better? Dude, why is my car?
Don't know, really. Don't know. But yeah, this is yeah,
It's certainly been a 10 episodes, hasn't it?
yeah. Unironically, I have really enjoyed doing these. This is not the end, by the way. We're not ending the podcast here, but it's
Yep,
just
we're
obviously.
done. We're retiring. We cannot get any
Yeah.
better than this episode. We have peaked with Minecraft. We're retiring.
I mean, I will be kind of like, unironically, with Thesis Media, I kind of will be winding back on the videos I actually make as well. Not like soon. I will actually be kind of winding down a bit.
All
I've been doing it for
right.
nearly 7. I've been doing it for nearly 7 years, though. That's the thing.
I'm too old
Um,
for this.
I'm too old for this shit, brother. But ironically, I will. So this will kind of be like my like soapbox to talk movies
Wow.
very soon.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not quitting. I'm not again. I'm not retiring. I probably
Quitter.
will. I probably. What's the Hercules line? I'm not quitting on you. Quitting's for rookies. Hercules is so good. That's such a good Disney film.
I mean,
Anyway,
I'm going the opposite way. I'm uploading like daily at the moment. With
I'm not.
shorts, trying to get all that conversation about Universal UK out there, which obviously we
Yeah,
discussed.
I've seen
That
all
might
that. Yeah,
start coming up in some podcast episodes if they announce something tied to like a movie or something.
that
Because
could be.
it's a
Yeah,
very movie-based park.
that could be
There might
good.
be
Yeah.
more on that soon, but I'm trying to upload like a short a day, try to get the algorithm on my
Mhm.
side.
I
Yeah.
think for me, I think it's almost like I've just, because I do film at uni, so I'm already using my creative energy elsewhere,
Yeah.
and also with my Amdram stuff, I've kind of been, building up to, this sort of past year, I've been reinvigorated with that. So I have more creative outlets, like compared to like when we were in lockdown, when it was just me doing YouTube videos, me doing comedy sketches and whatnot. That was kind of my only creative outlet that I had. But now I have others, and I know you. I mean, that's kind of a good thing in a way. Like it's almost like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But for me, that's a good thing because it's like I'm making it further, and not just doing this all the time.
Yeah.
But it does just mean that motivation for making videos is not what it once was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah. But I say like these podcasts, I love doing them because there is a bit less pressure because it's more informal and I don't know, I just enjoy it.
It's very laid back.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
There's like
So
a
yeah,
brief outline of what we do, and then other than that, it's like it's
yeah,
very just we whatever happens
yeah.
happens.
There's no script for these at all. So but yeah,
Evidently
that's the end
not.
of this. But yeah, that's the end of this episode and kind of the end of this season of the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thanks for like always watching and comments and liking and whatnot, and absolutely let us know of like what episodes you would like us to do in the future, what movies you want us to cover. in some future episodes, any like classic movies and such. Keep recommending. And in fact, I mean, one of my recent rankings was I did a ranking of the Musker and Clements films, which are like Disney animator directors. But that was a recommendation on our Deadpool and Wolverine episode. And I
Yeah.
took that and made a video of it. So, it might not be on the podcast, but it might be on my channel. I might do it. So, yeah, absolutely keep those recommendations coming in. We'd love to do some other things as well. I know we want to do like a behind the mic episode soon.
Yes,
Maybe more
hopefully
behind the
soon.
scenes. Yeah, maybe for like the anniversary of the podcast, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the podcast isn't going anywhere. It's going to keep on growing from strength to strength, and I look forward to seeing what we do next.
Yeah, it's been great. This was certainly an episode. It
Yeah,
was really fun, kind of actually to not have much serious talk at all in this episode, and just to talk about
yeah,
absolute like
cinema.
trash.
Let's talk about absolute cinema.
So yeah, thanks for
But
watching,
yeah,
guys. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around for 10 episodes. Don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe to my man Danny as well. Leave a comment. Shout out to Nitwit, best character in Minecraft. And
Mary.
thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Take care, folks. Bye bye.
Chicken Jockey.